Hi, I'm Ross Benjamin of Sportsbook Review and RBWins.com. It's Thursday, June 2nd, and it's time for another edition of my MLB Underdog Picks of the Day. I have three selections. Let's get right to them, and let's start with the game between the Red Sox and Orioles, which will be played at Camden Yards in Baltimore with the first pitch slated for 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Veteran right-hander Rick Porcello gets the start for the Red Sox. He'll be making his first appearance versus Baltimore this season. Porcello made 3 starts against the Orioles a season ago and was awful in those outings. 9.37 ERA and a 2.14 whip. Not very good numbers whatsoever. Porcello has also gone 0-3 in his last 3 team starts on the road this year with a 5.30 ERA. Also, not a very good number. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Ubaldo Jimenez makes a start for Baltimore tonight, and he's been absolutely terrible all year, and especially so over his last 3 starts. However, for whatever reason, he gets a lot of run support when pitching at home, and Baltimore is certainly capable of putting up some numbers against Rick Porcello this evening. As a matter of fact, Jimenez 15-4 in his home team starts since last season, and that includes 12-2 if those games were played at night. And speaking of playing at home, the Baltimore Orioles a stellar 18-10 at Camden Yards this year, and that includes an even better 15-5 when those games are played in the evening. I'm going to take Baltimore in this situation plus 127 over the Boston Red Sox, and you can find that line at intertops.com. Let's get to our next game. The Milwaukee Brewers go to First Citizens Park in Philadelphia to take on the Phillies. First pitch coming at 7:05 p.m. Eastern Time. Well, you know, folks, I've done several of these videos over the last 3 weeks, and I've mentioned on several occasions that I didn't think the Philadelphia Phillies were going to keep up the pace they had to their encouraging start. And one of the things I touched upon why I thought that was the case was their weak hitting. I thought that sooner or later that was going to catch up to them, and they were overachieving, and I didn't think they had the type of lineup that was all of a sudden going to wake up and go through a very hot streak with the bats. And certainly I look like a prophet right now because the Phillies have gone 0-6 in their last 6, 2-10 in their last 12. Their last 7 games, a horrible team on-base percentage of just 263. Jared Eichhoff makes the start for the Philadelphia Phillies this evening. He's been very good this season overall. However, in his one career start versus Milwaukee, which came this season on April 24th, he was rocked. 5 1/3 innings pitched. He allowed 7 earned runs and 9 hits during an 8-5 Phillies loss. Chase Anderson gets a start for Milwaukee today, and he's been in excellent form over his last 3 starts, evidenced by a stellar 2.89 ERA and an excellent 0.80 whip. Milwaukee has also won all 7 games against Philadelphia at First Citizens Park since 2015. The value here is on the road underdog, and that's just what I'm going to do. The Milwaukee Brewers plus 115 at Philadelphia on Thursday evening, and you could find that line at matchbook.com. Finally, our last game we're going to touch upon, the Tampa Bay Rays travel to Minnesota to take on the Twins at Target Field this evening with the first pitch scheduled for 8:10 p.m. Eastern Time. Left-hander Matt Moore gets the start for the Tampa Bay Rays, and he's really struggled of late. Over his last 3 outings, he's posted a large 7.63 ERA and 2.03 whip. That's terrible form, folks. And you know what? His 3 starts on the road this year, Tampa Bay has gone 0-3 in those games, and he's a major contributor as to why they've had a lack of success. A 6.06 ERA and a lofty 196 whip during those outings. The Rays come into this evening having lost their last 4, 7 of their last 8, and 10 of their last 12 games. Kyle Gibson makes his first start for the Twins since April 22nd when he was put on the DL for a strained right shoulder. And obviously, when you look at his numbers and the 3 starts he made in April, it certainly was affecting his performance line. He's since been activated, made 2 rehab starts at Class A Fort Myers, and was excellent in those outings with a 0.96 ERA. So he was very sharp. Obviously, there's a huge jump when you go from facing Class A hitters to the Major League Baseball level. But having said that, I think Gibson will be ready to go and he'll turn in a very strong performance against a struggling Tampa Bay Rays team this evening. This is also a Minnesota team that has an extremely impressive .456 slugging percentage over the last 7 games, and you compare that to Tampa Bay, who in their last 7 games has a terrible .288 on-base percentage, and you have to say the Twins have a decided hitting advantage based on recent results. Also with Kyle Gibson, it's worth noting that since 2014, he's gone 15-6 in his team starts versus teams with a losing record, and Tampa Bay certainly qualifies in that regard. We're going to take the Minnesota Twins in this game, plus 105 over Tampa Bay. You can also find that line at matchbook.com as well. Let's repeat again our 3 selections for today. We're going to take the Baltimore Orioles plus 127, the Milwaukee Brewers plus 115, and the Minnesota Twins plus 105. Let's go a 3-0 sweep on Thursday evening. I'd like to wish each and every one of you all the best of luck with your picks on Thursday. I'll be back Saturday with another edition of my Major League Baseball Underdog Picks of the Day.